Okay, it's May 11th. We're back out here with the tomato plants. I'm going to be demonstrating briefly how to tie tomatoes that have been staked. There's some advantages to staking tomatoes. You can put more in one spot, but you also have to do a lot more trimming, and that's a disadvantage. Anyway, I'll get to it. Let's see, make this thing taller. The plants have grown quite a bit. Okay. Oh. One thing I'll be doing is cutting off what's called suckers on the tomatoes. This is a main branch or leaf, really. This is the petiole of the compound leaf. And this is a sucker trying to grow up in the elbow. Now this one I'm going to leave alone because it's so high up, but it has an older sucker down here that was missed, and you just take that off because it will sap the growth of the tomato vertically. With cages, you only take suckers off to when tomato plants get about this high with cages, and then you just let them go. But when you're staking them, you need to take the suckers off to make them go up instead of out for a little while. Eventually we will want them to go out, and that's when it gets really hairy. And this is tie tape I got from Walmart. You can just about use anything to tie tomatoes. You just don't want them too close to the stake that you're tying them to. What I try to do is I put that tie around the branch, and again I'm gonna leave this sucker because eventually I want it to produce tomatoes. Just tie a single overhand knot. And that's about as tight as you want it. That guy's good. This tomato plant back here, let me make sure you can see it. There's one tomato plant back there that is not doing nearly as well as the others. Where is he at? There he is. Right back there. He's growing very slowly, and his top leaves are starting to get some sort of curl. And what I'll do is, because I have backup plants, is I'll just take him out of the ground and replace him. I could let him go, but it would probably be slower production and less production. And we finally started getting, I don't know if you can see it or not, my first little tomato zone. Doggone tripod. They're starting to come on. More blooms. This is a Brandywine plant. No, I'm sorry, it's a Rutger plant. But anyway, that's the gist of it. Again, staking tomatoes has a few advantages. The only thing is they are a bit problematic because you're constantly tying and you're constantly pruning. We caged them last year and they did just fine. You just don't get the tomatoes as fast using the cage method unless you prune, and they generally don't get quite as big because I'll end up actually pruning some of the tomatoes off of the producing branches. I'll show you what I mean by that. Pocket knife. will end up coming on your tomatoes are these little guys, of course, the little flowers. And eventually, you'll have up to 5 or 6 of these flowers per little flowering stalk. But these guys down here aren't going to grow as big and good as these two that are wide open. So what I'll do is, when they're on the plant, of course these aren't going to do anything now, but when they're on the plant, I'll cut the ones that aren't going to do as well off, and these 2 tomatoes will get a lot bigger because of it, because the plant's not constantly trying to feed these anymore. Instead it can focus on these blooms and tomatoes. Alright, that's all I'll hold you up for. We'll see you later.